He was the youngest heavyweight champion in history, the man who terrified giants. But behind the roar of the crowds and the flash of fame lived a boy who just wanted to feed his pigeons. Mike Tyson, the lion who slept beside doves. In the 1970s, in Brownsville, Brooklyn, a skinny, quiet boy hid on a tenement rooftop, cradling a pigeon in his hands. Before the world saw the fighter, there was a frightened boy, abandoned, angry, and alone. He found his first friends, not in people, but in birds. "I didn't have no friends, man," Tyson once said. "The pigeons, they were my friends. They didn't judge me, they didn't laugh." He would nurse them when they were hurt and cry when they flew away. That rooftop became his safe place, a fragile sky above a brutal world below. One day, an older kid killed one of his pigeons. Mike snapped. His first fight wasn't for money or fame or pride. It was for a bird. And that day, a fighter was born. A paradox took shape. A man of violence who loved gentleness. A lion who guarded doves. At 16, Mike met the man who would change his life, Cus D'Amato, an old-school trainer who believed that fighting was not about anger, but about character. Cus became his mentor, his father, and his guide. Before every fight, he hypnotized Mike, whispering words that sunk deep. "You are the best fighter in the world. You cannot be beaten." For a time, those words became truth. "Cus made me believe I was unstoppable," Tyson said. When he died, that belief died too. In 1985, Cus D'Amato passed away. Tyson called it the death of his sanity. The boy who found peace among pigeons now had to face the storm alone. By 20, Mike Tyson was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the youngest ever. To the public, he was the baddest man on the planet. But inside, he was still that trembling boy from Brooklyn, terrified of being left behind. "I was scared before every fight," he admitted. "People thought I was fearless. I was scared to death." Fear became fuel, pain became power, and power became poison. At his peak, he earned millions and gave them away faster than he could count. Cars, jewelry, even houses, gifted to strangers. When someone warned him he'd go broke, he said, "They needed more than me." Some saw generosity. Others saw loneliness disguised as kindness. Beneath the glitter, he was just trying to fill the emptiness inside. Then came the fall. In 1992, the world watched as Mike Tyson was led away in handcuffs, sentenced to 6 years in prison. The cell that confined his body freed his mind. He spent his time reading Nietzsche, Machiavelli, Tolstoy. "In prison, I met myself," he said, "and I didn't like what I saw." He began to see fighting not as violence, but as metaphor. The ring became a mirror, the opponent his own reflection. When he walked out of prison in 1995, some saw a fallen idol. Others saw a scholar reborn. The next decade was chaos, flashes of brilliance mixed with moments of madness. At one point, he even offered a zookeeper $10,000 to let him fight a gorilla. He saw that gorilla bullying the other ones, he laughed. "I told the zookeeper, open the cage, I'll handle it." He said no, good thing he did. Behind the humor was the truth, a man whose rage could erupt in an instant, yet his tenderness never disappeared. Even at the height of fame, Tyson kept his pigeon coop on the roof. Reporters would find him not in nightclubs, but at dawn, feeding his birds. After retirement, new battles began: addiction, depression, and obesity. The lion was tired. The crowds were gone. Then came change. He became vegan. "I stopped eating meat," he said. "I stopped wanting to kill. I just wanted to live." The diet transformed his body, but it healed something deeper. He spoke about calm, forgiveness, and peace. The fighter was becoming a philosopher again. Today, Tyson still rescues injured pigeons. He calls them angels with wings. Once, when someone killed one of his birds, Tyson punched him, not out of anger, but heartbreak. For a man who had fought monsters, nothing hurt more than seeing something defenseless destroyed. In an interview years later, he said, "Fame destroyed my soul. I was addicted to chaos. Fame was worse than drugs." He had conquered the world, but not himself. Every headline, every dollar, every fight was just a search for something he'd already known as a child: peace. The fighter softened. The boy with pigeons never really left. He was just buried beneath the noise of applause. Today, Mike Tyson stands not as a symbol of dominance, but of survival. A man who lived too fast, failed too hard, and somehow learned to rise again. He is philosopher and fighter, poet and predator, sinner and sage. As one historian put it, Tyson is America's tragic son, proof that strength without peace is its own kind of prison. His story is one of duality, violence and tenderness, chaos and calm, the lion and the dove. He once said, "I was never the baddest man on the planet, I was the most scared." But maybe that fear wasn't weakness. Maybe it was the spark that made him human, the spark that kept the boy alive inside the beast. Because Mike Tyson's life isn't just a story of a fighter, it's the story of a soul wrestling with itself, a child chasing his pigeons across a Brooklyn sky, searching for the innocence that fame could never buy. Today, he still raises pigeons in New York. He says they remind him of where he came from and what still matters. When I'm with my birds, I'm just Mike again.